What I'm about to show you is my complete clothing brand roadmap that has taken me over 5 years to create and implement to my own brand. But I'm confident that if I check off all these boxes and if other brands check off all these boxes, the probability of each brand making a lot more money in 2025 will drastically increase. I'm talking, this is like the difference between brands that go bankrupt and shut down and the brands that go on to make millions of dollars. So this video is for anyone interested in starting a clothing brand, or maybe you currently run a clothing brand. No matter what level you're at, I'm sure you will learn something or be able to apply something from this video that contributes to making more money. There are 6 components to this strategy, including a design system, high quality products, content, photos and videos, an excellent e-commerce experience, a comprehensive operations system, so that way orders can get shipped to customers within 2 days. When customers receive their orders, they are greeted to a wonderful unboxing experience with custom packaging. And the last step is marketing, which includes email marketing, paid ads, and influencer partnerships. I'm just going to break down each of these sections one by one. I have a whole video about design systems on my YouTube. I highly recommend you check it out. It's very comprehensive. It's going to give you a really good idea of what you need to do for your typography and logos and fonts, things like that. But if you are unfamiliar with what a design system is, it's like a rule book that helps keep everything about a brand's design consistent and easy to use, whether that's on a website, a mobile app, or a product package. It includes all the guidelines for how things should look and work, like the colors, fonts, and even how buttons or images are placed on the site. This system makes sure that no matter where anyone sees the brand, whether it's on social media, in an ad, or in a store, it all feels connected and familiar. It also helps designers and developers work faster by giving them a clear set of instructions to follow. I'm making a conscious effort to consistently apply my brand's design system across all platforms, website, packaging, marketing materials, and social media to build brand recognition and trust. In the past, I had an unfinished design system. The website and social media content had different logos and fonts than the garments and packaging. Having different logos and fonts makes it feel like there are 2 different brands that I'm promoting, which dilutes the brand value in the eyes of the customer. It makes it harder to sell products. The more consistent you are, the easier it is for the customer to understand what the brand is all about, even subconsciously, even if they're not thinking about it specifically in the forefront of their brain, like, oh, that's a different logo than I saw last time. The disconnect between the 2 logos is going to make it harder for that customer to make the connection from the first time they saw your brand. There are 3 main factors that determine the quality of a brand's garments. The first is premium materials and craftsmanship. From now on, my brand only sources premium fabrics and materials that look and feel luxurious to justify a higher price point. The designs need to go beyond mock-up packs and designing on blanks. I personally use Klaviyo to create custom patterns for all of my brand's garments. I give the tech packs and patterns that I create within Klaviyo directly to my manufacturer, and then they begin sample production right away. Speaking of manufacturer, you will need a reliable manufacturing partner. You want to make sure that your manufacturer replies on time to messages and emails. They stick to deadlines, and they give you proper estimates on how long sampling will take, bulk production will take, etc. You want to make sure that your manufacturer can give you strict deadlines and timelines, so that way you can properly prepare your release strategy, and then your manufacturer is 2 or 3 weeks late with the shipment, or the logistics hold you back. And then it doesn't matter how good your materials are or how good your designs are. If your customer can't get your product, or if logistical issues with your manufacturer hold back your launch, all of that hard work will be for nothing. I get some of my products made in the US and other products made in China. For products made in the US, I showcase the domestic production and emphasize craftsmanship and support for the local economy. For made in China products, I emphasize small batch production and ethical labor practices because, at least in the American fashion market, People will be more skeptical of your brand if they see that products are made in China versus made domestically. To counter that, provide more information about your manufacturer. Be more transparent. People want to know that your products are not being made in a sweatshop and that workers are being treated fairly. And that despite being made in China, the fabrics that you sourced are very high quality. There are ways to still be luxury or premium and have made in China products, but you need to find a reliable manufacturer. The manufacturer I've been using in China for about 3 years now is way more reliable than the manufacturer that I use in the US, which is ironic because people typically think, oh, made in the US, especially because the manufacturer is in LA. They're in the same time zone as me. They're in the same city as me. You would think that communicating with them and getting samples made would be a less painful and less time-consuming process than getting products sampled and made in China. But in my experience, that is simply not the case. Also, domestic production of garments is like 5 to 10 times more expensive than doing it in China. I'll make a whole other video about that in the future. The next category is content. I've made quite a few videos about content for clothing brands. I've broken down over 1,000 images on my YouTube channel in the last 2.5 months. I highly recommend checking those out. But for this video, I'll keep it fairly brief. There are 4 main pillars of content that I make sure I shoot for every single collection. The first pillar is e-commerce content. Investing in high quality e-commerce photos is going to have the biggest impact on your short-term sales for your brand. If anyone is going to impulsively buy anything on your website, the e-commerce photos will convince them to make that purchase. The goal ultimately with e-commerce content is to just sell products. Shooting against a white background and a white cyclorama is ideal because it removes all background distractions from the clothes, so you can just focus on the clothes. The next pillar of content is editorial. Editorial content has high art direction standards, suitable for fashion magazines and press. For my past collections, I had editorial video that I absolutely loved, but I did not have many editorial photos. One item from 2023 was featured in GQ, which was an amazing opportunity for my brand. But I wish I had more editorial style photos for that product so I could push even harder and really capitalize on the GQ press that I received. The goal with editorial photos is to sell a feeling. You just want to make someone feel something so they stop the scroll. They're scrolling through Instagram, maybe they follow a bunch of brands, and then boom, your editorial style photo that looks like a glossy page in a luxury magazine stops that person from scrolling, and then they spend 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds on that post just looking at the photo, which then hopefully will entice them to click on the brand's page and then follow, etc. The third pillar of content is lifestyle content. I take photos and videos in places that reflect the lifestyle that my audience dreams of or wants to have. Also, if you have any plans of getting your brand into retail locations like a department store or a small boutique, they're going to ask for lifestyle photos. And then the fourth pillar is founder content, which sells the vision of the founder and establishes brand loyalty and brand authenticity amongst customers. There's nothing more authentic than a clothing brand founder wearing the clothes that their brand releases. It shows customers that the founder can walk the talk. If you're a founder and you live and breathe your brand, and it's all you post about and it's all you think about, that's going to resonate with an audience. The next category is an excellent e-commerce experience. I personally use Shopify. I think at this point it's industry standard. It's so easy to set up and get implemented right away. If you have a little bit of money to spend, I highly recommend getting a premium theme. They're usually around $300, but they're totally worth it. My Shopify website uses the baseline premium theme, and then I added some custom liquid code to it to make it a little bit more unique than all of the other brands. There are also quite a few plugins that I use on my Shopify store that improve functionality, like upsells and bundles, without compromising the site speed. Sometimes adding plugins and custom code can bog down the site and make it slower, which has a big impact on conversion rate. It's also important to use a super simple and streamlined checkout system to make it as frictionless for a customer to buy a product from your store. And regardless of how much info you think you have on your site, I recommend adding more info. Add info about your manufacturer, add info about your design process, add behind the scenes videos, create a comprehensive FAQ section, create a page just for the return policy and for shipping. Having all of this information will make it much easier to sell products to customers, because most customers need that reassurance. They need to feel confident before they spend money. This is also going to reduce the amount of buyer's remorse that happens with your customers. All the time, people will buy something online and then immediately feel bad about it. If you have no info on your website and someone just impulsively purchases one of your products, the chances of them second guessing themselves and then asking for a refund will be way higher than if you have an FAQ page and an about page and a shipping and returns page, things like that. The next category is operations, which includes everything about logistics, shipping, inventory, tracking, restocks, and more. For all shipping and logistics, I work with a third-party logistics or 3PL company called Pietra. Pietra is very reliable, and they allow me to store small bulk orders at their warehouse for very cheap. This is extremely convenient for me because Pietra integrates with my Shopify store, so all of my inventory gets updated to Pietra in real time whenever someone makes a purchase on my site. Let's say someone purchases a jacket and a t-shirt, that order gets sent to Pietra. Someone at the Pietra warehouse will pack the t-shirt and jacket together, wrap it in tissue paper, do my whole unboxing thing, and then ship it for me. That way I can offer free 2-day shipping to my customer and charge a little bit more of a premium for my garments, because I know that my customer is willing to pay a little bit more of a premium to get their product in 2 days rather than waiting a week or 2 weeks, because a lot of streetwear brands take weeks to ship their products, especially if they do pre-order drops. I don't do any pre-order drops. I always order bulk beforehand. I make sure that the bulk order is at the warehouse, and then I will launch my capsule or collection on the website. And the last category is marketing. Lots of brands do marketing differently. For me, I like to focus on email marketing, paid ads, influencer partnerships, and seasonal promotions. For everything email marketing related, I use Klaviyo. It integrates with my Shopify store in 2 clicks. I set up automated welcome flows like a welcome series, abandoned cart reminders, and post-purchase follow-ups. The way that I collect the emails is with lead magnets and pop-ups on the website. I try to offer valuable content like lookbook guides, style guides, things like that, in addition to discounts, in exchange for an email address. This grows my subscriber list and allows me to constantly be emailing people with offers and updates about my brand. Most brands just give a 10% discount in return for an email address. But I think in 2025, brands will need to do more than that in order to entice someone to give away an email address. I give away style guides and lookbooks in addition to discounts. Paid ads are the most simple they've ever been. I've worked for 3 different digital marketing agencies over the last 8 years. I spent well over $1 million on ads for other people's brands and for record labels in the music industry. Paid ads are simple right now. You just need to make sure that all of your pixels and analytics tracking is completely set up. You can watch a ton of YouTube tutorials about this or ask ChatGPT to help you out. But as long as all the pixels and analytics are dialed in, you will not be leaking any data and you'll be able to track everything about your customers. If you're tracking everything about your customers, it makes it very simple for the Facebook, TikTok, Instagram algorithms to just find the people that are willing to buy your products without you needing to know how to actually set up paid ads. As the ads start to make sales, that's when I recommend hiring a media buyer or a professional to set up custom audiences, lookalike audiences, retargeting, top, middle, bottom funnel strategy. I will make several videos in the future about my paid ad strategy. It's probably my strongest skill set and something I talk the least about on my YouTube channel. I'll definitely get into it more as I'm running promotional campaigns for my upcoming collections. I usually recommend that brands focus on meta ads, so just Facebook and Instagram, and maybe TikTok ads, especially for streetwear brands, until $30,000 a month in cash flow. Then branching out to YouTube and Google ads will help scale the business. But until then, I think it's best to just focus on, let's say, Instagram, one platform. or just TikTok if you have a TikTok presence. For influencer partnerships, the number one most important thing to keep in mind is you want to pick someone that is in line with the brand's aesthetic and target audience. Don't pick an influencer just because they have a lot of followers. If their followers are not in line with what you make, you're just going to completely waste your money. And then every 6 weeks, I think it's important to do some kind of seasonal promotion. I'm not saying you do a 50% off Black Friday sale every 6 weeks, but just having something like a Super Bowl Sunday sale, 10% off, or a Mother's Day sale, 15% off. Those little promotions will sell slow-moving stock, create hype, and create quick cash flow. But it's really important to not overdo this. Customers will start to expect discounts from you and then only purchase when there's a sale, which is the worst possible situation to be in. You do not want to be completely relying on promotions to drive all of your brand sales. That will create a culture of mediocrity. People will just see your brand as a discount brand. All right, so that's my clothing brand roadmap for 2025. I hope you found this video useful. If you did find it valuable or learn something new, please like and subscribe. It helps. If you want to download this map for free, as well as all of my other resources, whiteboards, PDFs, slide decks, AI tools, and more, grab them at the link in the description. If there's a topic you'd like to see in a future video, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.